Do you know, I've been trying to do this all day. I finally got it sorted, and then people decide to come round with their big fucking mouths. I'm sick of it. Try again.
This is London. You will now hear a statement by the Prime Minister. I am speaking to you from the Cabinet Room at 10 Downing Street. This morning, the British Ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us. I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany. You can imagine what a bitter blow it is to me that all my long struggle to win peace has failed. Yet I cannot believe that there is anything more or anything different that I could have done and that would have been more successful. Up to the very last, it would have been quite possible to have arranged a peaceful and honourable settlement between Germany and Poland. But Hitler would not have it. He had evidently made up his mind to attack Poland whatever happened. And although he now says he put forward reasonable proposals which were rejected by the Poles, that is not a true statement. The proposals were never shown to the Poles, nor to us. And though they were announced in the German broadcast on Thursday night, Hitler did not wait to hear comments on them, but ordered his troops to cross the Polish frontier the next morning. His action shows convincingly that there is no chance of expecting that this man will ever give up his practice of using force to gain his will. He can only be stopped by force. And we and France are today, in fulfillment of our obligations, going to the aid of Poland, who is so bravely resisting this wicked and unprovoked attack upon her people. We have a clear conscience. We have done all that any country could do to establish peace. But a situation in which no word given by Germany's ruler could be trusted, and no people or country could feel itself safe, had become intolerable. And now that we have resolved to finish it, I know that you will all play your part with calmness and courage. At such a moment as this, the assurances of support which we have received from the Empire are a source of profound encouragement to us. When I finish speaking, certain detailed announcements will be made on behalf of the government. Give these your close attention. The government have made plans under which it will be possible to carry on the work of the nation in the days of stress and strain that may be ahead. But these plans need your help. You may be taking your part in the fighting services or as a volunteer in one of the branches of civil defense. If so, you will report for duty in accordance with the instructions you receive. You may be engaged in work essential to the prosecution of war or the maintenance of the life of the people, in factories, in transport, in public utility concerns, or in the supply of other necessaries of life. If so, it is of vital importance that you should carry on with your jobs. Now, may God bless you all, and may He defend the right. For it is evil things that we shall be fighting against. Brute force, bad faith, injustice, oppression, and persecution. And against them I am certain that the right will prevail.
That is the end of the Prime Minister's statement. Please stand by for the important government announcements, which, as the Prime Minister has said, will follow almost immediately. That is the end of the announcement.
This is London. The government have given instructions for the following important announcements. Closing of places of entertainment. All cinemas, theatres, and other places of entertainment are to be closed immediately until further notice. In the light of experience, it may be possible to allow the reopening of such places in some areas. They are being closed because if they were hit by a bomb, large numbers would be killed or injured. Sports gatherings and all gatherings for purposes of entertainment and amusement, whether outdoor or indoor, which involve large numbers congregating together, are prohibited until further notice. This refers especially to gatherings for purposes of entertainment. But people are earnestly requested not to crowd together unnecessarily in any circumstances. Churches and other places of public worship will not be closed. Air raid warnings. As from now, no hooter or siren may be sounded except on the instructions of the police. In the event of threatened air raids, warnings will be given in urban areas by means of sirens or hooters, which will be sounded in some places by short intermittent blasts, and in other places by a warbling note changing every few seconds.
You just got it, didn't
The
you?
warning may also be given by short
See ya.
blasts on police whistles.
Christine.
When you hear any of these sounds, take
Yeah.
shelter.
Yeah, I'll have coffee.
Do not leave your shelter until you hear the Raiders Past signal, which will be given by continuously sounding the sirens or hooters for a period of 2 minutes on the same note. If poison gas has been used, you will be warned by means of hand rattles. If you hear hand rattles, do not leave your shelter until the poison gas has been cleared away. Hand bells will be used to tell you when there is no longer any danger from poison gas. Schools. All-day schools in evacuation and neutral areas in England, Wales and Scotland are to be closed for lessons for at least a week from today. In reception areas, schools should be reopened as soon as arrangements for the education of the children evacuated to the locality can be completed. The precise date of reopening schools in reception areas will be decided by the authorities of the schools. General. Keep off the streets as much as possible. To expose yourself unnecessarily adds to your danger. Carry your gas mask with you always. Make sure that you and every member of your household, especially children able to run about, have on them their names and address clearly written. Do this either on an envelope or something like a luggage label, not on an odd piece of paper which might get lost. Sew the label onto your children's clothes where they cannot pull it off. The London Tube Railways are required for traffic purposes, and the tube stations are not available as air raid shelter. Now here is an announcement to unemployed persons. If you are already claiming benefit or allowances, do not attend at the Ministry of Labour local offices until your next payday. If you become unemployed and want to claim benefit or allowances, you should attend at the Ministry of Labour local office. To avoid congestion, claims will be taken from 9 o'clock in alphabetical order, surnames beginning with A to H in the morning, the rest in the afternoon. That is the end of these announcements.
Well then, I think that concludes the test of this radio is working. It works as a radio and it works as an input for the MP3 as well. But could you imagine turning your radio on that morning when that broadcast was made and listening to that? I bet a lot of people didn't expect that, did they? Cheers, Christine.
I'll see you.
I'll see you tomorrow. No, I'll have it in a bit. I'm not hungry yet.
I'll see you later.
See you later. Well, you've had yours, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right. See you later. Yeah, you know, a lot of people probably didn't expect that, did they? That when they turned the radios on, I bet, you know, everybody was knocking on each other's door, turn your radio on, you know. Yeah. Or the wireless as it was called back then. Yeah, it just shows you, doesn't it? You know. But there's one thing in that though, isn't there? Them announcements. We know where Boris Johnson got his ideas from for that lockdown. I bet he read that. I bet he listened to that speech or read the notes for it. You know, definitely. But yes. Andy's radio is done and it works as a radio and it works as something to put your MP3 player through, although I had a mini disc recorder connected to it, and you would not believe the trouble I went to get that recording onto the bloody mini disc. And you know, at the end of the day we've done it. What I'll do, I'll actually get a few more and put a few more on there, so that if I need them in the future I've got them. But I couldn't believe I didn't actually have an MP3 player or anything portable I could plug a pair of headphones into to get the job done. But we got the job done. Anyway, we're all done, we're happy. I'm going to end it here because there's not really much else I can say. Not really much else I can do. I'll notify Jay that the radio's ready for collection and he can pick it up and do the bit of cabinet work that Andy wants doing to it. Anyway, I apologise for being abrupt earlier, but at the end of the day, when you've been at something all day and then somebody comes in and starts mithering you, you know, yeah, I do get a bit, I do get a bit irate when that happens, because I just wanted to get this done and out of the way and finished. Message retracted. Why did you retract your message? Yeah, that's actually working lovely now. That is it Byron? Yeah, it's actually working lovely, that radio. It's and you know, I've not replaced anything in it. You know, all I've done is put a rectifier valve and that socket on. I've not done any of the capacitors because they all tested okay. I tested every single capacitor in the power supply and it all tested okay, and I've not messed with the RF section because it picks up stations pretty good. You know, so I've not really done a lot to it. It hasn't needed a lot because somebody had already done it. That had been recapped in the 60s, either the 60s or the 70s. It had been redone. So, and all the capacitors I checked were all within spec, and that's good enough. And it's not going to get a lot of use, and it's, you know, it's run there for what, just under 15 minutes I ran that for. Yeah, who's this? This might be the Mildred. It's the Mildred. Hang on a minute. Hang on, Mildred. I bet it's found me an MP3 player. I've done it now. Hang on, Mildred.
I asked him, he hasn't got one.
It doesn't matter. I've done it. What have we got here?
Fucking what, darling?
Oh, that valve.
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you going Aldi in a bit, Mildred?
I don't know yet.
Well, if you are, pick me up a packet of chocolate biscuits and a bag of wine gums and fruit pastels. Yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, get me a couple of those pizzas for 80 something p. It don't matter what flavour. Okay, see you later, Mildred. Right. Yeah, that was the Mildred. He's dropped his valve off for his radiogram. So we'll get that, put that there so it's safe. We'll get that done in a few days. And we'll go through that and get it sorted. And anyway, I'm going to end the stream here because there's no point going on any further. You know, it's not that I bother about people getting in the way when I'm trying to fix something. But when I want to play a video, when I want to play an audio clip on an old radio, I don't want to do it more than once. I want to do it once and get it out of the way. And I can be a bit abrupt at times. I understand that, but you know, the length of trouble I went through to get this thing done. To get that clip onto that mini disc player or mini disc recorder even. If it had been a player I wouldn't have been able to do it, but because it's a mini disc recorder I was able to, and I phoned everyone I could think of, you know. I phoned the Mildred, I phoned my daughter, one or two other people, try and get an MP3 player, and nobody has an MP3 player now. I'm going to buy one actually and then just keep it in the drawer for when I need it. But it's all done now, and I get the back on this, put the hole in the back for the lead that I've put on to come through, and Andy can listen to all his wartime Churchill speeches and regale his friends. You know, we can regale his friends with his Churchill speeches and Neville Chamberlain, and yeah. It's actually quite a good idea for an old radio. I mean, you know, I mean, because there's not a lot on AM, and they're getting rid of AM, I believe, soon. AM's going to be shut down. You know, it would be scraps. It would be nice. You know, it's a good idea for them. Just plug your MP3 player in, and you can have some period stuff coming through it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, MP3 player, you know, little small music player. They were popular in the early 2000s. No one really has one now. Although the formats, you know, I take it where you come from, Byron, they don't actually have MP3 players. You know, but they were very popular in the early 2000s, and you know, but that's what they were. I mean, everybody had them. I mean, I've had loads, and I just chuck them in the bin, or when I got to know Jay, anything like that went on his pile. So I'm gonna have to buy one actually, so that I could just keep it in the drawer, and when I need it. I actually thought there was one MP3 player knocking about here. I thought there was one knocking about, but I can't find it. I must have chucked it by mistake or done something with it. But but the little mini disc recorder, that pulled me out of the proverbial really. I'm glad I kept that. I've had that for years. I bought that in the early 2000s off eBay second hand, and it's been a good machine. It's actually ideal for that purpose, but I think an MP3 player would be better. I can just transfer the stuff straight from the computer in here without having to mess about. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because there's well, what do I want? I want to put the back on it and get it boxed up, get the back on it, and put it in a safe place, and put something else on the bench and see what we've got to mess with. Anyway, folks, I'm going to leave you to it, and yeah, I'm going to have a look on eBay to see what's about, and probably purchase a cheap MP3 player. Anyway, you all take it easy, and I shall catch you on the next one. And thanks for commenting, Byron. Nice to have you aboard, fella. Bye for now.